Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, no doubt a lot of you will be familiar with the travails of the erstwhile president of the Nigerian Senate, Abubakar Olubukola Saraki. So this guy went through a lot during his period at the Senate. There was a time that he was being chased around Abuja by the former Inspector General of Police, laboring under no less a crime than being accused of armed robbery in either Kwara State or Kogi State. I forget rather which state, but he was under that label. This is the Senate president, by the way, and a former two-time governor of Kwara State. He was being labeled then as being involved in armed robbery and was chased around Abuja to the point that his house was actually surrounded at one point by policemen, and he managed to escape them to get to the Senate. So these were some of the things that he went through, and the Malam Buhari regime, of course, did not relent in their determination to get this guy as well. So they sent the police after him, the EFCC, of course, after him as well, and then they attacked his senatorial seat within Kwara State to the point that he was actually rigged out of that seat, because no matter how badly he does, I can never, and if you're a Nigerian, you'll find it difficult to ever imagine somebody like Saraki losing his senatorial seat. But this was what they made us believe. But then, of course, we know the sort of elections that they are running under this particular regime. What passes as democracy under the Malam Buhari regime is what is his name? The Mahmoud Yakub. Yes, Mahmoud Yakub, the chairman of the INEC. What passes as elections under this regime is Mahmoud Yakub simply writing out a result and reading it out irrespective of what the people wills. So they have been after this guy for a while, to the point that they've gone round the whole of the entirety of the Nigerian state to identify where Saraki owns a property, and then they've attempted to seize it, and in most instances they have seized it, and they have now gone to the court to see then how those houses that he owns can be forfeited to the government. In fact, I think in Lagos State, in Ikoyi, they actually succeeded in getting two of his properties forfeited to the government. I'm not sure if they've gotten the final forfeiture or that is still pending, but I know they have some sort of forfeiture on two of his properties in Lagos State. So it carries on with this Bukola Saraki saga. As guys, I bring you this. Magu took his non-confirmation personal. So this is a headline now attributed to Saraki. So now Saraki now breaking cover, coming up for air and making a public pronouncement. So again, the headline, Magu took his non-confirmation personal, a headline attributed to Saraki. So now let's now find out exactly what this is all about. Former Senate President Bukola Saraki says the suspended acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ibrahim Magu, took his non-confirmation by the 8th Senate personnel, hence his decision to go after him. Saraki said this in a statement whilst reacting to the court order on the return of two of his houses. So let's just pause here for a moment because we need to fill in the gaps. So I'd already narrated how they've been going around the whole of the country to seize this guy's properties, and we've already discussed what's happened to his properties in Ikoyi. They've also seized the property of his father in Kwara. I think that house is actually known as Iliagba or something like that. They've also seized that, and they seized his property too. So it is his property now that they seized in Kwara State that he is now getting a judgment on, a favorable judgment on, and that is what's now inspired him to come out into the public space to now have his own turn. So we carry on. Justice Rilwan Aikawa of a federal high court in Lagos had on Thursday ordered that Saraki's two houses in Ilorin, which had been seized by the EFCC, be returned to him. The judge said there was no sufficient basis in the EFCC application for the permanent forfeiture of Saraki's houses. Reacting to his victory in a statement, Saraki said the EFCC under Magu's leadership put him through many legal challenges. He wrote, "I know that the Senate under my leadership only followed the due and normal procedure during the confirmation process, and we never executed any personal agenda against Magu. The records of the Senate are there for the perusal of all Nigerians interested in the truth. I hope that with the outcome of today's case, EFCC learns that a serious issue like the fight against corruption should not be reduced to a forum shopping means to execute a personal vendetta or prosecute a parochial agenda. With the decision of the court, it is my expectation that the EFCC, which has played significant roles in the various court cases against me, from the CCT, that's the Code of Conduct Tribunal, to the Supreme Court, and back at the Federal High Court with the consequent media trial and malicious campaigns, will now leave me alone to live my life and enjoy my unfettered rights to freedom of thought, expression, association, occupation, and dignity as a private citizen, and focus on serious issues of national development." The former governor of Kwara State said he had endured and defeated one false allegation and malicious litigation after another in an ill-motivated persecution, intimidation, and harassment through which some vested interest sought to damage his name and label him with charges of corruption, but he continued to emerge victorious. Magu was rejected by the Saraki-led Senate twice based on a report by the Department of State Services, which described the suspended EFCC boss as corrupt. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So this guy now, they've just tied him up in legal knots. This is essentially what they're doing to Sowore as well. You can see that you're still hearing Sowore here and there in the papers and in the news, but they've completely quelled him down now. So they're just going to leave him in court for the foreseeable to go and cool off, and this is the technique that they use. So they've locked this Saraki character also into several countless legal litigation. So this guy is now saying he's gone through now 5, 6, 7 of this thing, from the Code of Conduct Bureau to the Supreme Court to the High Courts. They are permanently in court with this guy, and they are permanently being defeated by this guy. So according to him, they've not gotten yet a final victory on him on any case. So they might well get a victory in a lower court, and then he gets a victory in a higher court. But it's a persecution rather than prosecution that is going on here, and it's a vendetta and victimization that is going on here rather than any search for truth and justice, because of course the Buhari regime is noted for one thing and one thing only: vindictiveness, vengefulness, and of course corruption as well. So it's just the height of everything, really. We've all seen the narratives coming out of the Abubakar Malami quarters, the sort of stupendous wealth that guy now commands. A guy that was just like a Toro Kobo lawyer before 2015 is now as rich almost as Dangote now within the Nigerian space. Is now flexing with the big boys. Haven't just had the opportunity to be the Minister of Justice for Nigeria. So that's the only thing that's changed in his life, that Abubakar Malami. The only change that has happened in his life was that he went from being a private lawyer to being the Attorney General of the Federation, and that transition from that position to the other has now led to this stupendous wealth. So what he was doing as a private lawyer would have been as a businessman, because he's effectively running the chambers as a business. But what he's doing as a Attorney General of the Federation is a salaried position. You earn a fixed salary, and that is your income for the duration of the period that you're in that post. But the sort of monies that he was making as the private lawyer is almost like the change in the pocket of a bus conductor compared to the sort of money in the pocket of Bill Gates. That's almost the transition that he has made. And the only thing that has changed was that he went from being a private citizen to a government functionary. So this is a corruption-ridden regime that is now chasing people around for corruption. But with all that I have said, by the way, you might think that my sympathy is with Bukola Saraki. Certainly not. Bukola Saraki needs to be permanently in Kirikiri until he meets his maker. This guy is as corrupt can be. He and his family are notoriously corrupt. They've been just treating the whole of Kwara State, that was then subsequently split into Kwara Kogi. They've been treating the entirety of that space as their personal fiefdom for as long as I have been able to have any cognizance of anything that is going on. For as long as I have been aware of anything, I've always been aware that this particular family have just relentlessly looted that space. So no sympathy for Saraki. What his family did to Societe Generale, a French bank that came to Nigeria, the way they took over that bank and just wiped it out, is all a matter of public record. So no sympathy for Saraki, but certainly sympathy for due process, law and order, and somebody abusing their position. I detest people abusing their position, and I cannot stand for that. I cannot stand for Bukola Saraki abusing his position as the Kwara State governor any more than I will stand for this Ibrahim Magu being used as a tool now to bully and intimidate him. So if there are cases to answer, then he should answer those cases. But with that particular Ikoyi property, by the way, they've been losing cases and losing cases on that property, but they refuse to yield his property to him because, of course, they don't operate or abide by the rule of law. All they know is Janjaweedism. Conversations in the comment section. Bukola Saraki, I described him as the Scarlet Pimpernel in a previous video, and you see him again escape the Frenchies, but this time around the Fulanis yet again. Come share thoughts, life and times of Bukola Saraki. This is what we're discussing. Come tell me what your sentiments are in this regard. But before you do that, click on the red subscribe button so it turns grey. The bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Click on like as well because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Then come join me in the comment section and let me know if you feel now that enough is enough now with this now abuse of power and bullying of this Bukola Saraki. No sympathy for him, but of course there has to be a point that enough is enough. So has that point now been reached? So I'll leave you here then. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section, but here I say peace.